Hey everyone, welcome back to Indicted TV. I am your host, Negra. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and follow us on Instagram. Today's episode, we have Bozo.
Yes, sir. What up, what up, what up?
So, Bozo.
Yes.
Where did you grow up? Where were you born? How was the inside of your household as you were growing up? Do you have siblings?
Okay. So yes, I was born in the city of Los Angeles, West LA, a few blocks down from MacArthur Park, on a street called Bandini off of Alvarado. So I was there at my very early roots when I was like, probably to I think about the age of, I want to say 4.
Okay.
You know, so a kid. Because my parents are I'm first generation born here. So my parents are immigrants from El Salvador and Durango, Mexico.
Okay.
So my parents, at the time, they wanted to, the city wanted to buy that whole lot to expand the school. So, you know, they used to cash people out, right?
For
so
sure.
They cash you out. So at that point, we ended up in the city of Commerce off of Gage, right there. Gage and Slauson almost, you know?
Yes.
There was some old school duplex right there. We moved there till about the age of 6 years old. At the age of 6 years old, I moved to the city of Pico Rivera, where I lived the rest of my life from there on in.
You still live there?
I still live there. No, I don't live there now. No, I can't no more.
He said that.
Those days are over. Well, I can't, because you know
No, I mean, understand. I understand.
My face is more, it's just bigger now, you know, magnified. So due to safety reasons,
Definitely.
I had to move out. Not only that, the harassment of the cops. Like when you grow up in the city, you grow a relationship not only with the streets, but also with the police department that's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a very close relationship. If not, it's kind of like a frenemy type of situation. You know, the motherfuckers know your parents, they know your teachers, they know where you kick it at, they know who your best friend is, they know who your girlfriend is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my relationship there in that city was I'm from Pico Nuevo. I'm a Pee-wee, I'm from the Pequeños clique. And that's my gang affiliation as far as the city. To me, the city of Pico Rivera is a beautiful place to grow up at. I would raise my kids there now if I had the luxury to, but obviously I don't. The city of Pico Rivera was good to me. I mean, I was able to grow with that. With my situation was I was left without parents young, but I was very fortunate because of the community that I grew up with. The city of Pico Rivera it's a very like blue collar, successful type of Chicano environment.
Got it. I'm gonna cut you out really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Back to you. You know, you moved to Pico. You were young.
Yeah.
You said you were 6?
I was 5 years old and moved to 6 years old. Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
And you have brothers and sisters.
Yes, I have 2 older sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
That were in love with cholos. Therefore, that's how I became a cholo.
Hey, you know.
My older sisters fucking had all the posters. You know, the Teen Angels, the East Side tapes. I grew up on all that shit. So.
You loved it.
I loved them and they loved that, and I wanted to be with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. And you went to school there, junior high. You said there you lived your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And how was your relationship at home with, as in like, you know, your parents growing up, like that?
Yeah, my life as in my home environment, my family environment was great, beautiful. My dad is a hardworking man, always was. I never seen my dad miss a day of work, ever really. My mother was just a street hustler. I take what I have now from her. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a way to make $5 off of 6, she's gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Maximize the profit, chase the money, be overly ambitious, and be very foolish with her thoughts. I mean, like, to the point where it was an innocence, like what she thinks she could do, how she can do it. You figure my mother was in an orphanage in El Salvador. I had the luxury to go visit that orphanage with her before she passed away. And from that orphanage, she made it to this country to be a homeowner, you know?
Wow.
Never went to school, didn't know how to do math, didn't know how to really
She came to the United States to do what, you know, what they come to do,
sure.
You know?
Hustle
which
hard.
Which is a super blessing, you know?
Hustle hard every day. I was in the back of the van every day, all day. We sold clothes out the trunk at warehouses. We knew the schedule for the people's lunches because our tias worked in those warehouses. So we did that. We did condinas. We did all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the hustle is in me. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. All right.
But my family was great. My sisters were tight as fuck. I'm the baby of the family, so I'm very spoiled. I'm spoiled entirely by my nieces. My whole, you know.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
You have love coming from everywhere, which
hell
is
yeah,
amazing.
Hell yeah.
You know,
My mother, my dad were good to me.
Good.
Yeah, I had a great childhood. My friends were the shit. I still got the same friends from then to now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So at what age did you start getting into trouble?
Um,
Because obviously you said that you love the lifestyle because your sisters kind of exposed you, not exposed you to do bad, but like just the lifestyle itself, like the look.
yeah. So very early on, one of my older homeboys got murdered in front of me. Well, in front of my house, should I say, directly across the street from our bedroom window. There was a house party. The homies used to throw house parties. The enemies from the other side, on the other side of the riverbed, came over, did a drive-by. Back when drive-bys were still,
Yes.
in full
So
effect.
like early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. Yeah, well, I was only 7 years old. So when the homie got dropped, I remember him passing away, and I remember feeling like some kind of obligation to want to retaliate for him in the future, because that's what I knew already. Like, my environment had already programmed me that if one of our friends die, we got to retaliate. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, yes.
So at the age of 7, I already knew I was going to be from PN. I wanted to be from Pico Nuevo. I knew I wanted to be a Pequeño because of my older homies, Cato and Steve Natural. I looked up to them, glorified them as a kid. Like, them dudes were street gods, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, yeah, like, oh, and by the way, their little brother, which is one of my best friends, Chino. That's how I,
You guys
saw them
it's like
and all
a
that
family.
bond.
You guys
But yeah,
grow up.
but that bond and those friendships made us already a gang without being even able to get into the gang yet. Like, we already looked at those are the PN little kids, and at school they already generalized us as that, you know what I'm saying? At the parks, they already knew, oh, these kids were not allowed. Before, back then, it was easy to discriminate the gang kids. Like, now everybody wants to outreach and help. But back when I was growing up, like, nobody wanted to fuck with us at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were extremely pushed away. They even had separate schools for us, away from the
Everybody
regular
else,
school.
yeah.
Right? And back then when I grew up, all the little girls were pregnant by little boys, like 13,
If you
14.
don't mind me asking,
yeah.
how old are you?
Me? Oh, shit, man. Listen, no, you don't want me to tell you my age. But anyway, I'm about your age.
Okay.
But anyway, but yeah.
This was old. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. Well, I don't like to say that. I don't like to call it old. I like to call it seasoned. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very seasoned veteran. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of seasons come and go. But yeah, my childhood was great. I mean, I can't complain. I think that where I went wrong was when I woke up without a mom and dad. You feel what I'm saying? And at that point, I think that people felt so sorry for me and my situation because they knew my parents. They seen them. They knew that I'm probably one of the only homies that had like real immigrant parents. Most of my homies already had like second generation here, third generation here. Pico's that type of environment. So I think that the hood really like nurtured me because of that more. You know what I'm saying? Like, they felt bad.
How old were you when your parents passed?
Well, when my mom got ill, I was 12. I was
you were
12
a
years old. So
baby still.
I was at that age where
You were going to either go
I was
good
making
or
choices.
bad.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
who I was gonna kick it with. And yeah, so around that age, that's when I really full blown, like, I started doing time at 13.
Okay. What did you get arrested for the first time you got arrested?
So the very first time I got arrested was it was dumb shit. Like already like the gang type of shit, I was like one of the PN kids and some kids from another circle that we didn't really fuck with try to say something smart to me during lunchtime. Well, I used to be very lucky. Like I said, I'm spoiled by my sisters, right? So my oldest sister used to have this old square station wagon, like a banana boat, with red interior. Like, it was eggshell white with red interior, like them old school ones. So she used to let me borrow it.
And you were always tall?
Yes, I've always been tall. So I look like I can drive that bitch, So, like, at the age of 13, she used to tell me, like, because she already had the baby. My little niece was born. So my sister would be like, hey, go buy me milk and give me the food stamps. You feel me?
Yes, the paper ones.
Yeah, the paper ones, the dollar bill ones, the Monopoly money.
Yes.
So I would take it, and my juvenile mind at that time was like, well, between my house and the liquor store, the homie Spanky's here, Chino's here, Prowler's here. I wouldn't be a good friend if I didn't roll by and pick them up.
Just to go get the milk.
Let's get the milk. And then we gang bang by the school, because, well, school's about to get out, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So on the way there, I'm justifying what I'm doing, you know what I mean? So I don't feel like a dick towards my sister and the baby need milk.
Yeah.
So on the way to go get milk, I scoop up literally all the little homies. And you gotta think, we're around 13 and a half, just deep as shit in the station wagon. Bunch of little ball heads.
All bad.
So we pull up to the bus stop and we all jump out and we catch one of the guys that was talking shit. So we jumped him. We beat the dog shit out of him. The school bus people called. I took off in the banana boat with all the little gangbangers. I still got the milk. And on the way back from getting the milk, the cops swarmed us and were like,
Because they said the car, huh?
well, yeah, hell yeah.
The banana boat.
Yeah. So they got us. That was the very first time I was incarcerated. And I told on myself. I didn't know no better. You feel me? Like I said, I was green in a lot of the thug shit, you know, like.
Did you do any time?
That time, yeah, that was my very first time. So at that point, it was a very tricky situation because my case was actually presented to a judge at that point. You know,
shit. Like right then and then?
Like right there and then, yeah, because
So you didn't walk into juvenile hall?
No, I did go to juvenile hall. Yeah, no, I sat in juvenile hall for months on end
let me ask you. So when you walked into juvenile hall, you said you were like 13 years old, no?
Yeah.
How did you feel? Did you think like, man, I wonder how it's gonna be when I go to juvenile hall, or am I ever gonna go to juvenile hall? Like.
Well, I had seen American Me.
Oh shit!
So American Me kind of fucked it up for me. Yeah. American Me kind of fucked it up for me. But luckily, when I caught that case, I caught it with my best friend. My homie Prowler was with me. So we went straight to TU unit.
Okay.
TU was the second story building in the middle of LP, Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall. It's mainly to house 13 and 14-year-olds. That's how they divide the units in LP, you know, like.
I never been to LP.
So it's alphabetical order, A, B, C, C, D, and all that.
Kind of like every other juvenile hall.
Exactly, yeah. So A I believe was intake. C, D was like the HROs, high risk offenders. You know, the homies that were like 14 already catching life and getting tried as adults for murders. You know, those are the homies that now fucking almost 30 years later are getting a second chance at life. You know.
Yes.
But back when I was a kid, kids were getting life, like literally. Going to the LA County, stay in the orange jumpsuit, and they would hold them in their own holding tank and then take them and prosecute them as adults, bring them back, and then drive them back to the halls, you know?
Yes.
So it was that unit, then there was all the units around. So the whole, and then it was TU on top. And I remember when I pulled up there, the homie Brownie from Eastside Longo was up there. And he was a porter, you know what I'm saying? And LP's different. Like, I know it's juvenile and it's kids, but it seems like it's more confrontational because of that, you know, because we're children, you know?
Most definitely.
So right away when you pull up, it's like, where you from, Messe, you know? And you know, like, the difference between a 13-year-old to a 15-year-old is different already.
Big time.
Size-wise, like, these motherfuckers were already doing 500 push-ups in the day room. This is back when all gangbangers worked out, you know? Now this new generation has...
This fools ain't working out.
This fool's the softest shit. You lay them out, you know? But yeah, back then, all the homies worked out. Like, it was almost like a rite of passage, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't work out, you weren't ready to fade. You didn't catch fade. So we pull up, we get banged on, and we're sitting in the day room. And I remember because Eazy-E died. You know, Eazy-E died while I was there.
Oh, that's how you remember it.
That's how I remember that instant. I remember the building feeling. It had a smell to it, you know. Like, it had a smell that I don't smell nowhere else ever in my life, you know? It had a smell of I don't know, the best way I could describe it, it was like, it was all, how should I say it, man? Like, it was, you smelled the plastic, you smelled the cheap shit on the floor, the Lysol, like it wasn't like a home, you know what I'm saying? It was like a factory type smell. It was never nothing that you can relate to when you're outside. It was just...
It smells like the blanket, the LA County blanket.
Yeah, and you're boxed in, and you're boxed in. You know, yeah, that's what it smelled like something that's been confined. You know what I'm saying? Stale, it's a stale smell.
Yes.
Nothing fruitful or something that arouses you. It's just kind of like, fuck, like what the fuck? And then all you see is little kids in the hallway. So it's a hallway with a bunch of doors and glass sideways. All the glass are sideways so the kids can't punch them out, you know? They put them on sideways for the suicide watch for the kids, and the kids are banging on you. Like, you're sitting there because they sit you at the front, and you sit at the wall, and the counselor, the big-ass morenos that used to run those things, the counselors, they go inside the bubble and they start doing the paperwork, you know, taking woo-woo, housing them in this. So you're sitting, waiting, and everybody's gangbanging on you, you know? Everybody's gangbanging on you. Some people are dissing your water, you don't know. Some people blowing up your dead homies. And then all you hear is the counselor like, shut the fuck up, I'm gonna go fuck you guys up, whatever, whoop, and it's real.
Yeah,
you know,
you're like, oh shit,
it's not him being sarcastic, it's not him being funny, it's like literally those ass whoop tickets that he's handing out, they're real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shit quiets up, and then you start to see all the shoes in the hallway, because they make you put your clothes out, your pants, and we used to put our shoes and then roll up our pants real quick and roll up our t-shirt and put it, tuck it in, bam. And you sit them outside your door. And I remember seeing motherfuckers like run out the cells and take them from fools, And the next day, you either defended your honor by fighting for your shoes back or you didn't. Most fools didn't fight back, you know what I'm saying? Like, when the Cortez, if you came in with Cortez with the teeth on them still, you was a target, my boy.
Like these?
Yeah. If they were crispy, if your shit was crispy, because like I said, fools were already doing time, you know what I'm saying? Like, fools were already seeing that situations where they were going to not get out for a long time. So a pair of shoes was
a lot.
Especially.
No, because we were in juvenile hall around the same time, So it was kind of the same experience for women. How long did you do? Like, what was your actual sentence?
So my situation was, it was my first case ever. I had never been in trouble before. So they were looking to put me in probation. But when they looked to place me into probation, and when you're on probation as a juvenile, somebody needs to have custodial rights of you. And nobody had my custodial rights because of, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my situation was like, at that point, my family as a unit had to sit down and be like, for one, my sisters were too young. One of them was 18 at the time, the other one was 20. The 20-year-old had just had a baby. My 18-year-old just had a baby. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, wow, yeah.
There were mothers, they had just lost their mother. They were looking, you know what I'm saying?
And you didn't have like tios or tias.
I did, but
it's different, I understand.
It just wasn't one of the things where like, I can't speak for them. I don't want to talk shit and make it seem like they didn't try to help me or nothing.
Yeah, no, don't worry, I
But
get
at that point, my family did sit down and they were like, who's going to take this fool in? Like, somebody needs to take Esther's baby boy in. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I ended up in one of my uncles. Well, so my dad's sisters ended up marrying my mom's cousins, if that makes sense.
Yeah, my family's the same way.
Exactly. So my tias and tío are married, you know what I'm saying? But for separate families. So I ended up going home with them, but I just sat in the halls for a long time before they can figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
So how long did you do?
That time, I think I was there like 5 to 6 months or something like that.
Oh shit, that's craziest thing you saw in juvenile hall.
And the craziest thing.
This first time.
Man. Craziest shit. Well, there was a few things. First of all, the most like weird thing that I saw was the way that fools, to the extent that children would go to fight,
Like with so much anger?
I mean, fools would get like, because everything is visible for the cops, right? Because you're a juvenile. So if you go to the bathroom from the waist down, it's not visible. But the waist up, it usually is. So little kids would get down on their knees to get down. Like they would line up, So there was a big old sink where everybody it was like a UFO shape. So everybody would wash hands. So when we're coming from yard, they'd be like, they'll let you go wash your hands and get some water, right? So that's when we would time it. Like, all right, right now we're catching a fade, fool. So boom, all the little homies would get around the sink, start washing their hands, taking their time, and then we'd get on our knees and get down and just lock up. Boom, 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 boom. First one to drop, then you got up and that was it. Like, you got down, you know what I'm saying? So that was the first thing that was like, blew my mind away. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, this is what I'm gonna have to fucking do.
You have to fight. Yeah, you have to fight, right? So then, I think the biggest thing now when I think about it is seeing the adults abuse the way they abused us, physically beat us up, mentally fucked with us. Man, they used to strip me naked and lock me in my unit because I was always a troublemaker considered. I would never leave my cell, you know what I'm saying?
That sucks.
Yeah. So that's what really shocked me because there was no help. You know what I'm saying? Like you were in situations where you're a child looking for guidance or help, and the people that were in charge of you were just, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I know, like there's a lot of racist shit going on right now. But now that I'm a man, I can say like, I remember the prejudice being enforced there on us. Like the Mexican kids, the white kids, like, I don't know if you can vouch, but for me, most of the staff there was always like black. Yeah. Grown men that were black.
Yes.
And they used to beat the dog shit out of us. Like my homie got his jaw dislocated. I remember me personally so the door's like this, right? And I would get in trouble for petty shit, like maybe talking during breakfast when we're not supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's room time, Reyes, get your punk ass down there, bitch, and woo, 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 right? Well, the hood I'd be an asshole and still be gangbanging through my door, like, fuck you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So forth. And the motherfuckers would come. Well, it only happened like twice, but he would come, boom, he would press the door, and then, so the door would go to its farthest, right, in, and then he would get the pepper spray can and spray it, and then they would get a towel and close it on you. Boom.
Motherfuckers.
So you could choke. We would choke from there for the fumes. So your only defense was to grab a blanket and breathe through it, like smashed on your face, you know? But still, like when that shit encloses in you in the room, it's like a fog. So it lands on you no matter what, like on your eyelids, and you can't wash yourself. You know
it's
what
so
I'm saying?
crazy how you just learn to adapt by watching everybody else, like what they do, as how you learn to protect yourself. And it's so sad, like that's what we have to learn as, you know, when we go to jail. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so this is what happened to him, and this is how he did to defend himself, so fuck, okay. And it's like you protecting yourself, you just like fucking, you know, like, fuck, how am I gonna survive this shit?
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, it's one of the things where like it reminds me of 300, you know, like the 300, the way that they trained their young warriors from youth, you know what I'm saying? Like it was combat off top, like communication was never verbal, it was physical. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that you expressed how you felt. That's the way that you demonstrated how much you love something. Like nowadays, we encourage our children to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Communication is key, but we stray them away from being physical. You know what I'm saying? Like the physical is here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like the physical has to be challenged, and now that's why you see dudes my age or even a little bit younger than me, we don't fit in. You know what I'm saying? We don't fit in with the current era and the current place. Like everybody's offended by our masculinity and the way we were brought up. But what they don't understand is like, the more I fuck with you, the more I like you. That's the way we were brought up. It wasn't like the nicest guy had love for you. Nah, it was like the homies that tested you and gave you a fight for you. Those were fools that wanted to really fuck with you. Because if we didn't like you, we wouldn't fuck with you at all, homie. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like you an outsider. But now like that type of chemistry isn't accepted. You know what I'm saying? But that was the craziest part of being locked up, was to see grown men. I mean grown men. I'm not talking about 5-footers. I'm talking about 6-footers. I'm talking about physically strong men like cocking back and letting loose on us and fucking us up. So that was the biggest shock to me, you know? So
you were there 5 to 6 months and you got out, obviously on probation, and your uncle picked you up. Your uncle and your aunt picked you up. And how was it there? I'm sure, were you there for long or?
I wasn't there for long. How was it there? It was great. My family was good to me. My uncle, to this day, is one of my favorite person in this whole world, you know? Loved me like tremendously. He was a mechanic, so he taught me how to build lowrider bikes in the shop. You know, my uncle had a legitimate shop in the back. My allowance for being good would be like, oh, we'll take you and go buy a fender for your Schwinn, you know, you want to paint it? Okay, we'll go buy the paint. Shit like that. He really, really bonded with me. But me, I was addicted to the streets. I miss my barrio. Like I miss my blocks, you know what I'm saying? So as soon as I was done building that Schwinn, I took off to the hood in that bitch.
And you never went back?
I never went back. I ran away to one of the homies' pads. My homeboy Grumpy, my sister was like extremely worried about me, whatever, but they went to go see me and look for me. And I remember to this day, like hiding in the garage, you know, like a kid, you know, scared, not really sure on what to say or how to do it. Like I wasn't the type of kid that would come out and be like, hey, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was the type of kid that was like, fuck, like my sister, like, damn, I fucked up.
Because you were raised with love.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah. So that was, that's how it went pretty much. I ran away. I remember my older sister came look for me and was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm good here, you know? And the homies' parents were like, we got him as much as we can, you know what I'm saying? Them, yeah. So yeah, it was back to the hood. And then I automatically got caught with a AK-47 on Whittier Boulevard.
And this is, you were how old? Right away?
Right away.
So you were out like a month?
Long. Maybe a month and a half if I'm lucky, you know what I'm saying? But right away, I got caught with a big ass burner. My homeboy that's a little bit older than me made the fatal mistake of asking me to hold something, you know?
Shit, yeah.
And at that age, like, come on, like, AK, it was like,
you're the fucking coolest kid in life.
We're going to the boulevard to kill somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, no.
Fuck Fortnite, we doing that shit in real life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gunning fools down. So sure enough, we went to the boulevard, because you know how my barrio is, so Whittier Boulevard runs through my barrio where everybody used to cruise at. And sure enough, like, we used to hang out across the street from Tommy's. So let's say it's Whittier and then the back streets, you know, from where Tommy's at. And in my neighborhood, the back streets have access to all the plazas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if you're in one of the back streets, there's a crack open, you can walk into the plaza. That's on Whittier Boulevard.
Yeah, because you know the area.
Exactly. You know your way around. So sure enough, we got the biggest dicky jacket that we could find, and we cut off the stock on it, and then we put it under our armpits, and we grabbed it from the barrel and just walked all the way to Whittier, you know?
I would put mine in my pants.
Yeah. Yeah, that was common. Yeah, the homies used to think. Yeah, with the little limb, you know? So we're out there, you know what I mean? And we're in the bushes like Vietnamese, you know what I'm saying?
You're
and
going to war.
Yeah, and then, so we would have bait, you know? We'll have the littlest homie in the circle, the smallest one of us, go and gangbang on cars, you know? Bam, 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 bam. And then in our plazas, you have to drive a certain way to come back in. So we knew when they were coming back in. So, and that's when the homie would be like, bam, bam, they're on their way, fool, they're coming. I'll be in the bush, you know? So in the process of trying to shoot somebody, the people in the Yoshinoya, it's not there no more, but the Yoshinoya saw us, you know? And made the call, hey, there's some kids with an assault rifle right here in the bushes.
Wow.
So the Hudas came.
Before anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was an amazing thing.
Yeah,
now thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? Because you probably wouldn't be out here right now, fool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, shit, you know. But yeah, I got caught in the bathroom of the Yoshinoya.
And how long did you do? What was your...
So that time they gave me a year minimum in camp. So I ended up going to Camp Gonzalez, which was a whole nother, like, amazing experience. Now that I'm older, you know, I think about it, it's like...
Tell us a little bit more about it.
So Camp Gonzalez is it's like a miniature prison in the middle of the Malibu Mountains, off of those Virginis roads. You go all the way up there, Calabasas and all that shit. And it's a camp, but it has prison walls, you know? So it has a prison wall. The only thing that it's minus from prison is the gun tower. There's no gun tower because it's juveniles, you know? So we have the wall. It's in the middle of the mountain. Like I said, it's a beautiful place. And there's a school. There's a hole called Zuma that's way in the back. That's the hole. And then it's just a big dormitory connected to a kitchen. And back then, like I was saying again, our counselors were, you know, they were very hateful towards us, you know what I mean? So everything was punishment, you know what I mean? Like, if we were too loud during count, you know, you would have to sit at your corner of your bed like this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And everybody be lined up and hospital corners on your mattress, your baby cuff on your pillow and all your shit, and your locker intact, like, boom. And if you didn't, like, I could cause my whole little, I was a Jaguar. So if I fucked up my units, we weren't going out to yard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that made the rest of the 5 of the little boys in my unit grow hate towards me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And then, you know, like the bitch ass fool caused us they were okay, we getting down, fool, you know?
Yeah.
So we also had Thunderdome. We had Thunderdome where they would let us, like, we would go to the team leader, you know, the captain. Hey, fool, like, me and so-and-so
like
want to get down.
Marcher, right?
Yeah, me and so want to get down today. Can you tell Mitchell, which was our counselor, me and the boy want to catch a fade. So this fool, the counselor would literally write the names down. You know, it's 4 different groups. So he would allow 4 different matches. You know what I'm saying? So he'll keep us, he'll write us off for not going to school, saying we're going to help him clean. And then it was just to get down. That fool would let us get down. You know what I'm saying? So we get down, catch fades all day during Thunderdome. And then, jacking off, making FIFIs and throwing them over the walls. You know what I'm saying? After that, like late night, you know what I mean? Doing little.
For the people that don't know, what is a FIFI? A
FIFI is a homemade vagina from laundry in a prison institution or jail.
How do you make a FIFI?
What you would typically do is, like, there's a lot of different ways.
How did you make
There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways, but So primarily it's a glove, you know what I'm saying? A glove that's just used for, like, as a condom would be used on. And then you just roll a towel up, you know what I'm saying? You roll a towel up the right way with a cuff in it, gives it a little grip, and you put the glove in it and you smash that bitch, you know what I'm saying? You smash that bitch, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know, as kids, you know, testosterone, we're teenagers and fuck, that's everything to us, you know?
Yeah.
We're already writing our little girlfriends, drawing them the little love is drawings and shit. And as a juvenile, they would allow, like, your mom and your dad to bring, like, your friend, you know, like a little girl that you know what I'm saying? If you had cool sisters or a tia, like, yeah, mijo, I'll pick her up, bring, you know what I'm saying? That little shit. So it was but like I said, it was always a pissing contest, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers bumping heads, fighting, disrespect each other, and in a weird way, growing bonds for the prison terms we're gonna do in the future, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us were clashing and getting down and on the streets trying to kill each other, and once we turned to adults and we started to an adult time, we had bonds because of those, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you already felt each other's energy and all that before.
We were him, you know, like we were
you
what we said
together.
we were, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, to me, all those institutions were just molding us for prison.
For
you know
prison.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
So you did your year. You got out. Were you already you were like 17 or something?
I was 17 when I got
17.
out. I remember I was taller, and I remember vividly that I had a growth spurt because when I came home, like all my homegirls that were like in their 20s wanted to bone me.
Wanted you.
and I was a kid, you know what I mean? I was 17, but that's that hood shit. You know, when you're a hood baby, like that's probably
they were waiting for Bozo
biggest
to come
feeling.
home.
Yeah.
Was that always your name, Bozo?
Bozo's always been my nickname
always
from
Bozo.
the gate. Yeah, always from the gate. I didn't switch up for no label, no music, shit, nothing. I kept my name. But yeah, it was, you know, that's one of the best feelings as a kid, you know, like, you know, you're the little homie, you know, and then you've been doing time for being a little menace out here.
Yes.
Yeah, so the older homies love you, the homegirls have crazy love for you. So when you come home, it's like, it's a lot of love and endearment, you know what I'm saying? You look forward to those days and you don't want those days to end. So you stay in the hood 2, 3, 4 days till you have to go home and get more underwear and socks to fucking run around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I do understand.
It's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? For whatever it's worth, I wouldn't change that shit for nothing, you know?
I understand completely. Yeah. No, trust me, I definitely understand. So, when did you catch your big case?
Oh, my biggest case when this
time. Because this is your last time, the one that your biggest stretch.
So I caught that in 2005. In 2005, I got busted. I got caught in Colorado. I was a fugitive. I got extradited back to Los Angeles, where I ended up in the LA County. I ended in the county right at the heart of the race riots, the 2005 biggest race riots.
And what was your charge?
My charge at the time was attempted murder and 5 armed robberies.
Oh shit! Yeah. You're fucking robbing fools.
Yeah, that was growing up in the hood. I wasn't known for selling drugs. I wasn't known for like being a burglar or nothing like that. I was known for doing licks. All my prison charges are for doing licks. Yeah, all robberies. I have 5 of them under my jacket.
All right, but your last one was like the one that was like your biggest. Was the one that was catch.
Well, you know how it is, right? Like, so my first one was a robbery. You know, they send you to your first violent term, so it's kind of like I got 5 years. I did 4 years, some months off of that, but I got the enhancements and the strikes.
That's why you did more time.
That's why this time that I came around, you know, it was life. It was never a deal on the table. Like I've been to trial 2 different times, you know, because of those enhancements that they would hold over my head and everything carry life and this and that. So I wouldn't get offered no deals. I would get forced to go to trial. And trial was fucking like the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever been through.
In life, no.
Especially when you're fighting life. Yeah, in prison,
no, I get it.
Holy shit, that shit
So
is
you
real.
got caught in Colorado. You're down in the county. Let's talk about that.
The LA County Jail or the Colorado County Jail? Colorado County Jail is boring. We're not, well, what it is that we're not deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the homies, there's a few of us there. So there's no, like everybody's thin. All the factions are thin, so there's no power struggle.
Everybody's just kind of
like, okay, there's a few of us here, a few of us there. It's all love and respect. So in that term, it was boring. You know what I mean? Like LA County Jail, now that's a whole nother story.
So you're in LA County Jail then?
So I'm in LA County Jail. I see the homie player from Walnut. There's a dude that I've known like since I was a kid. And I see him one day in court, and then the next day, I'm seeing the module, I'm seeing 2400 Charlie Row, and the homies are talking about that they just killed him, you know? So I'm like, what? Like, yeah, he got stabbed so many times. And I get to see him. So he doesn't die, by the way. He doesn't die. He almost died, but anyways, but yeah, so the race riots were like, it was a thing that caught fire quick, you know what I'm saying?
And so you did experience the riots?
No, I experienced all of them entirely. I experienced the race riots. I experienced the separation between us and the Maravillas when it happened in the county jail also, when that shit kicked in. Like, and you know, we were all separating ourselves from each other. We were at war or whatever. I went through that. I opened up Twin Towers where we had to go to war with the cops. Like you know, the cops made a fatal mistake of touching somebody that's very endeared by us the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it was green light on the Hudas and the Twin Tower. Like old LA County and anywhere else was like neutral. But if you ran into a deputy inside the Twin Towers and you were a Southsider, you were
super on site.
Yeah, it was on site. Absolutely zero fucking tolerance for you not doing nothing.
How did you feel when you were in actual riot? Like, what went through your head? Like, how did you feel?
I think that the energy that's in a riot is it's one of the biggest highs that you can have. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're on the winning side of things. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the mob, which is whoever you're with, you become one, literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, your senses are heightened by him and him and him. It's almost like there's an energy that connects all of us, and we know how to be at the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, almost never did I ever see a homie slip and get victimized by another race or another gang that we're battling with. Like, it was one of the things where, like, that's one thing that I will say about our people and our bloodline and our lineage, is that the tribalism in us is real. And you will see it when there is a race riot between us, because we're trying to literally sacrifice a human being on that motherfucking tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no limits to the things you've seen. Okay,
so give me 2 examples of ones when you were in the race riots, like actual example of you fucking, doing the whole shebang, everything, like, how you moved, like, where, like everything.
Yeah. So I mean, the best, I'm gonna give you an example, but nothing that you would imagine that would happen. So long story short, I'm an alpha male, I'm naturally a leader. I get along with everybody. I'm very good at communicating with people. So people tend to like come to me for leadership a lot of times unintentionally. Cause anybody that knows you will tell you, I don't raise my hand to do shit. It's just kind of one of the things that just kind of, I'm burdened with it to a certain extent, But anyways, I embrace it. It is what it is. So, long story short, I was in the county so long at that time fighting my case. When you're in a place for so long, you become a part of it. Meaning, like, you become staff without even wanting to. You know what I'm saying? So at one point, the cops in the theater already knew that we were with the business. They knew that if the South Side needed to move on somebody or get something done, they already knew all the homies in the tier that were doing life. They already knew the homies that didn't give a shit and didn't have nothing to lose. And they already knew which one the active ones were. Because, believe it or not, in the LA County Jail, the cops participate in all action that goes on. You know what I'm saying? I believe that, that they join these criminal entities that we have without even realizing that they do. They play a part in it, whether they signed up for it or not. You know what I'm saying? They understand that it's an animal that they cannot tame or control, that they can neither analyze or figure out because they're so far away from our lifestyle, that they almost become eager to just want to be accepted by it. You know what I'm saying? So they become groupies, especially when you're a hitter. You know what I'm saying? If you're a hitter and then fools know you're, for one, you're busted for taking somebody's life, and then second, you're willing to take another person's life while you're there again. They know that. So
they're going to fucking adapt to your program?
So they adapt.
Or they're so
they know, but then they don't want the trash neither. You know what I'm saying? So for instance, like, I could give you a few examples of what I'm saying. Like, at one point, I'm not gonna say no names, but there was a big Moreno that was on our tier that's known, out here on the streets, pretty famous guy. But anyways, he was on the tier.
Is he a rapper? No, just kidding.
No, he's not a rapper. But so anyways, I was on a tier with him, and I had been on a tier so long, like, I was allowed to come out at night and clean the tier, sweep it. My cell would stay open like all night, literally till fucking court line. You know what I'm saying? So, and at this point, you gotta think it's me, my homeboy Vago, my homeboy Scrappy, my homeboy Stomper, rest in peace. We're on the same tier
all
together.
Your homies.
I mean, gunners. These dudes are all super with the business. You know what I'm saying? These aren't porn. They don't sit on the bench. These are fucking role players. So and we're together deep, and we're in our early 20s. You know what I mean? And we have juice because the Hudas know. So what I'm saying is, like, all these things are fueling our ego even further. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and the homies on the other side of the 2000 floor, which are like the fools that we answer to, love us. We're the kids that they love. You know what I'm saying? All the little homies over there sending our saludos. Here goes the kid. And you give it to
voice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, hey, call my prima. She'll give you 3-way. My boy don't even trip. Back when we need 3-ways and burnouts and all that shit. So, we're chilling the tier, and this big Moreno hits the tira. And at the time, like I said, it was the racial shit, and they wanted him hit, They wanted him because he had been beating up cops. He had been beating up every race that came into a cell. He was even beating up his own people, you know what I'm saying, at that point, right?
The guy was just out of control.
The guy was a monster, though. He was a big man. He was with the business. He was not no bitch. And he was willing to kill and destroy anything that got in his way. So we get the green light to go hit this, you know what I mean? Go get him, you know what I mean? And it just so happened that I had a personal vendetta because he had sliced my homie Vago across the face with a razor blade. See, this is an individual that we had been battling with it on the floor that knew us.
For this whole
knew
year that
him.
you've been there.
Yes, this whole time that we're there, we're putting in work. Him and his boys are putting in work, but he disrespected the wrong cop, and they moved him and put him in a position to get hit. All right. So once again, like I said, we had the tier on lock. So just like the hood or the pad, you know where you got your gun stashed at. You know, if you're the main one on the block doing shit, you don't ever keep shit in your pad, because just like the streets, there's a gang unit in there too. So there's the jailers, the deputies, and then there's the gang unit. You know what I'm saying? So the gang unit is the one that would really be against in there. You know what I'm saying? So I have all my shit stashed, so I'm confident in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So sure enough, we get the shit, we get the gate racked. We're coming back from chow. They allow us to hit that tier early to catch him slipping. And I run to the stash spot. Boom. And the stash spot is one of the homies, you know? So I tell him, my boy, I'm on my way. Boom. So I go, and this other man, the adversary was so big, I wouldn't have gone in that cell without a fierro.
Ah!
You understand what I'm saying? Because I know I'm going to lose. You know what I mean? Without a weapon, I was no match.
He's like,
you know
go
what
to
I'm saying?
sleep.
Yeah. So I go to get my shit, and right when I get there to the homie, because it's bars, and I'll tell you 400, the little homie don't have it. So now it's like, check nuts, bitch. Like,
oh, fuck.
What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So, lucky for me, though, the Moreno started trying to close his own gate.
He's like, I ain't coming out.
Because you can knock them off the rail in the old county jail. If you know what you're doing, you put the milk carton in the right place, that shit'll jump. You know what I mean? And you can rack it and hold it. So that's what he was doing, was holding it. And a few of the homies, you know how fools make the little weapons out of razor blades, the little slicers?
Yeah.
Where they just break the tip and the little other part stays? They were cutting his hands, like cutting him, and this fool would not let go. You know what I'm saying? So.
Wow, that fool was strong as fuck.
He was a monster, but no doubt, this man was a monster. So that was one incident that was really like, the reason it has a presence in my mind is because I remember like running to my spot to get a shank, thinking I'm ready to do some, and then it not being there. And
you had to like rethink everything.
Yeah, and it was like one of the things where like, you can't bitch up now. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh,
because
that's
look,
so scary.
These tiers are all open, so everybody hears everything. There's no privacy. It's not like you can hide it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the other races and the other homies are listening. Yes. So your reputation is on the line. You know what I mean? And the homies that are behind you, they're expecting you. You're on the spot. You raised your hand. You feel what I'm saying? So the reason it's so vivid is because I failed that day. You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, now
technically
hindsight,
you didn't, but you know.
Well, in life, I didn't fail. You know, thank God, whatever, you know, it happened. God was watching over me, my mother was watching over me, whatever. But in my world, and my
that moment,
expectations of myself, I failed miserably. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a trip because I shitted myself. You feel me? Like, damn.
And the second
was when
the riots with the cops.
The riot with the cops. The riot with the cops. The most vivid thing that I remember is when so. They would, obviously, because of the situation that we were in, the doors, you know, they're set up the way they are. So they would make us go to the door, you know, and cuff up at the door. And then you walk to the front, and then your cellie did his thing. And then at that point, you guys both went, right? So the funniest thing that ever happened was the craziest thing that ever happened was like, we lined up, right? We lined up. I'm on the right side, and my cellie had come second after me, the homie from 38th Street. So the homie from 38, Listo from 38 comes, and he stands up behind me, and the rookie cop is so scared that he shoots him with the fucking taser. He shoots him with the taser while the homie's handcuffed. So the homie starts doing the fish, and then I was getting hit every time that the homie would hit me.
Oh my God.
Because his body was like juking. So I remember getting hit with that shit too, like handcuffed, and being like, what the fuck?
But my
like, cellie.
What were you guys, like, it's not like you guys were gonna do anything.
No, it was accident. Like, he did it by accident, you know what I'm saying? But I remember the homie peeing himself, and I remember like the noise that he made, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember it was extremely painful. You gotta think, these are the first model ones, you know? These are the very first that they made for institutions. Yeah, so that shit would go in you and stay in you.
Because now
like
they don't even make noise, huh?
Nah, fuck no. Now you hear them shit. Before you used to hear them shits crack when they start them, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like that. But yeah, that, and then I don't know if you've ever seen like the homies beat the shit out of a deputy. Like, when the homies beat the shit out of a deputy, it's like, it's one of the things that there's no going back. You know what I'm saying? So it's all out, but in jail, it's a battle you're always gonna lose. Yeah. There's no beating the law. There's no beating Big Brother. Like.
So how long were you fighting your case for?
A year and 7 months.
And when you went to court and you got charged, what was your, not charged, your sentence, how long?
My sentence was 18 years.
18 years.
When I first went upstate, yeah, my first.
And where did you go once you?
On this term, I went to Centinela. I went directly straight to Centinela first. I was Centinela. I was in reception, I believe, Delano? Was that Delano or Wasco? Wasco, I believe, and I went straight to Centinela. Centinela was the shit.
Why do you say Centinela was the shit?
It's just love. The homies are deep. Every county's deep. You got the Lifer building with all the homies that, you know, have reputation for being very thorough, being killers, you know, fools that, you know, walk around the yard like, you know, that's Billy the Kid to us. That's Wyatt Earp to us, you know, like fools that lay down the law and are still there.
Laying down the law.
Like right now, I've been out going on 6 years, right? Like when I sit back and I think right now, right, to when I first started doing time and I was running into homies doing life, when I do the math, there's homies that I left there that have been down like 35 years at this point now. You know what I'm saying? And you can't help but to wonder, like, where's the homie at? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's and these are people that take big parts in your life when you're coming up as a youngster.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones really handing down game and giving you cariño and giving you the carnalismo that you can only find in jail. You know what I'm saying? It's very genuine. It's very pure. It's something that comes naturally because we don't have nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So when I landed in Centinela, right away, my homies are there. So I'm good. My homie Trigger's there. My homeboy Lil Joker's there. My homie Trouble's there. I'm there. We're 4 deep. You know what I'm saying? So right away, it's right away I land, and there's nothing better than you hit.
And seeing your friends that you haven't seen.
Not only that, you see a big ass bag coming your way. You know, TV, sneakers, shorts,
wow,
sopas, cosmetics. The homies, the hood's taking care of you. Boom. You know what I mean? And then the meaning of that when people see it. You know, that's bigger than that. Like, oh shit, that boy's, you know,
he's loved.
They love that fool's somebody. You know what I'm saying? So all those things mean something in prison. You know what I'm saying? And in Centinela, I was able to. Not only that, like a gang of the homies that I'm out here now with, seeing on the grind and hustling, were there with me too at the time, you know?
That's dope. So where were you? Where did you do your longest time? Like your longest stretch? I wasn't
ever allowed to do more than 4 years on the yard. So because of the overcrowding that was going on in California.
Okay.
So Centinela was one of the first prisons that started sending inmates out of state. So we were opening up prisons and out of state. So we opened up La Palma, Red Rock. We opened up Mississippi and Oklahoma out there.
How was it opening in the yard?
Oh, it was beautiful. We were fucking the guards. We were punking the male guards. We were fucking running them the way we wanted. Like we had Xboxes, Sony Explodes, legally in them bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like I had video games. I was able to order Modern Warfare. You know what I'm saying? And then get a fucking pound from this little white bitch that stays right here and bring it in, and we're a big chiefy, and if the Huda try to lock your door, hey, fool, get the fuck out of here. If I slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were scared. They had never dealt with us, this animal, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man, the homies, man, they ain't playing. You know, like, if the homies smell blood in the water, it's a fucking wrap. They know how to finesse him. Look, man, I'm gonna put you like this, look. And I'm not, anyway, I'm not gonna say no names, right? But my counselor, when I was in Mississippi.
She was a girl?
Was a black lady, yeah, very nice, man. Such a southern, I don't know if you ever met like a southern woman from the South, you know, like they're the sweetest thing ever. You feel what I'm saying? So she loved me for some reason. She was my counselor. She knew when I had tragedies in my family happen. Like when my dad died, she got the call first. When my brother-in-law died, so she loved me, right? But she loved me to a fault. Like her office was in our building. So she used to be like, she'll send for me, I'll come down. Be like, what's up, man? Come here, baby. All right, close, you know, woo-woo. Come here, bring your homie with you, because you can never go alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to have somebody with you.
So the homie will come in with me. Y'all close the door, boom. What's up, man? What's going on? Go get me your cell phones. Go get me your burners. They going to hit the tier tonight.
Oh, so she used to look
you know
out
what
for you guys.
So I'll be like, oh, say less. Boom, I'll go. Boom, put my shit in a little sopa. Boom, 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 come back. Drop my shit off. And I'll get raided and never fucking get fucked with. You know what I'm saying? The next day, come get my cell phone, my burner, like, thank you, man, I appreciate you.
That's
Go ahead, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, so that was the difference between, like, over here, man, you could see a homegirl that's now a CEO. That bitch ain't showing you no love. You know what I mean?
That's her job, fool.
If anything, they hate us now.
That's
you know
her
what I'm saying?
job. Yeah.
You know what I'm
She got to
saying?
feed her kids.
But over there,
it's different.
it was like love. Like I remember I had an accident on a basketball court where I got 10 stitches. That's why I have a lazy eye. So I got 10. It's not no crazy fucking war story, but I was playing basketball. Kobe was winning championships at the time.
You thought you were Kobe.
Everybody thinks he's Kobe and shit. We're doing all these fake pumps and this fool headbutting me. Boom. Ooh. So I go into I knock out. I end up in the hospital in Tallahatchie. They're doing stitches in my eye, making sure my retina's not fucked up, whatever. And I come back and my shit's fucking devastating, right? And one of the guards, just young morenita from Mississippi, carrying would bring a motherfucker like ice, in the joint. You don't get ice. Ice is rare, you know what I'm saying? Like ice is gold.
And the feds, you do.
Oh, and in prison, if you get ice, you got a plug.
Yeah, we had a freaking, a little fucking ice machine. Yeah,
we don't get this shit. So that girl used to bring me ice in a bag and bring in and come check on me later and all that shit. Like it was just.
Sweet.
They weren't used to our game, like our charm, like the homies, the way we flirt and that. But they loved it, they enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying? Because the men where they're from are more like on some respectable, like more timid type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Because we're off.
So the homies come out, you know how the homies are. They put that hood charm on the motherfucker and it was a wrap. But yeah, so I opened up I didn't open up, but I went to most of the prisons that I stayed. The only one that I missed was Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the only one, and thank God I missed that one because that's where they went for like a week-long riot, where the cops from the street had to come and stop it, and then fools were hitting the fence.
So people were like literally rioting like nonstop, 24/7?
For 5 days, yeah, for 5 days, yeah. Yeah, homies were. It was all over the news. CNN covered all that shit.
What year was this?
Yeah, I want to say it was 2007 or 8.
I just got busted.
Yeah, it might have been 11. I'm not sure, but somewhere between like I want to say 08 and 2011 it happened.
Yeah, I was gone those years.
But that shit was crazy because, so at that point, like incarceration became a hustle, It wasn't about, rehabilitation. It was about how many beds can you fill and get paid for the government for it. So a lot of these private prisons were being bought by federal judges and then being leased by them to the county. Mm-hmm. And then our deputies were running the canteen and then our fucking sheriffs were owning the fucking packages and it just became a hustle. So at that point, we ended up going out of state because there was just too many of us. Like they were handing out time like it was candy,
Yeah. And what was the craziest thing you did? Throughout your last term.
Throughout my last term, the craziest thing I ever did was, so towards but I can't probably say that. Okay, let me see something else. The craziest thing I ever did was marry a stripper while I was there in prison. I thought that song had just came out by T-Pain. I'm in love with it. And I fell for that shit, dog.
And she was sending you money.
And she was taking care, coming through. And I'm,
she was
I'm
from
young.
Here?
No, I met her in another state. So yeah, I fell in love with the stripper with a golden heart, married her, and then learned the hard way. That shit was, man, it was just a song, trust me. Like
it was just a song.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing I did. And then because I went against my beliefs, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew better. I had been out here with group. I had already toured. Like, I had already been on the road. I had already been signed to.
So wait, you said you've already been on the tour. When did you start rapping?
Just so
you guys know, Bozo raps.
Yeah, I rap. By the way, I'm blessed with the gift of the gab. So, anyways, I paroled in 2003 from 3 or 4. 3 or 4 around there. I paroled for some more robberies, for 2 robberies that I got convicted for. My homeboy Scrappy, my homie Vago. Shout out my homeboys. I got busted. I went to prison. I got out. And Stomper, my homeboy Stomper, rest in peace, he had already been pursuing rap. So by the time I came home, he had already been signed to Capone and High Power. And they were doing great. Like at the time, they were doing great. Capone was touring around the world, pretty much, And he was taking us with him, like he was giving us a platform. He was giving us, sharing his stage with us. And we scratched his bag, he scratched ours, that type of shit.
Did you always rap? Like, how did you start?
No. I started rapping because they murdered my cousin. My cousin Smiley, Big Smiley from Burger and Locals, they murdered him. And at that point, I just started writing music. I couldn't find no other way to express myself. And poetry and music was the best way for me to do it. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, hell yeah, it worked. Shit.
So when you did it, when you were doing these robberies, tell us about one of the robberies. Like, how did you go about it? Did you how did you plan it? Was it just like, oh shit, I'm just gonna go do this?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
So
Step by
like
step.
in my generation of my clique in my hood, like I was trained to do robberies. You know, my homie, rest in peace, Termite. He trained me from a young kid how to do robberies. He was a robbery fucking
Fanatic.
that was their shit. So very early, like he would take me with him, and I would wait outside, and you know what I mean. So and that was what he considered looking out for me. He knew I didn't have parents take care of me. He knew I didn't have people to put food on the table for me a lot of times. So to him, that was the best way he could help me to survive. So he would take me to do robberies, and I don't know if you've ever done a robbery, but robberies are extremely addicting. Fast life, the fast money is instantaneous. When you're very good at it, you become even more addicted to it because you know you're good at it. I had got to the point of doing robberies where they were just a routine. Like, fuck, man, we did shit. So one of the wildest things I ever did.
The best one.
Well, shit, I got a lot. But one of the like most regretful ones, I should say, was my homie, man, one of my
Yeah, let me blame it on the homies.
my homeboy had a baby.
Oh fuck.
He had a baby, and he had a baby mom, and he had an old Chevy Celebrity with no tinted windows because you didn't tint those because you were a super gangster. So he used to drive. He would have his baby mama sit shotgun, and then they would put the baby in the car seat in the back, and I would lay down in the back so I wouldn't be seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I would jump out and do the robberies, and then jump into the family car and take off with them.
Did you rob people? Did you rob
I
cars?
always robbed establishments.
Oh,
So I robbed
okay.
establishments.
With the gun, obviously.
Yeah, all my convictions were for robbing establishments. I've never been like a stick-up type of guy, you know?
Okay.
But it had got to the point where I could rob an establishment and nobody would know. You know, like just me and the clerk. Like I had already got to that point where I was
you were fucking
so
professional.
smooth with it. Yeah, I already knew how to do it. I already knew where the drop boxes were at. I already knew where to hit, who
For
to
the people.
approach, who to ask for when I went into the establishment.
For the people. How so you were so smooth? How did you do? Like, you know, were you calm? Like, how did do one robbery really quick?
So if I was to do if I was in the staking out a place right now, like the first thing I want to do is the bigger the crowd, the better. You know what I'm saying? So put to as an example, when I got convicted for robbing the Home Depot, we robbed the Home Depot, right? So we hit the Home Depot.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one, yeah. But like I said, I knew what I was doing. So
you guys don't do robberies.
Yeah, don't do robberies, especially now. Like that shit's over with. Like all that shit's that's a wrap. Those days are long gone. So what I would always do would always ask to return something. You know, I would walk in, grab something, and then ask for help to see the return. But back in like a little while back, they didn't really have like, you know how now you go to Walmart, they have just that section for it. Well, back then they really didn't.
You just go to any line.
They just had any line, and then they would have to step to the side, and they would close their thing and then help you. So at that point, that was one way, right? To ask for something returned. At that point, you get the manager, and you just, you know, the manager has access to everything. So at that point, to the rest of the coworkers and everything, he looks like he's helping you get your money back, but at the same time, what he's doing is you're robbing him. The second way that I would do it also was like, I would ask for change for a $100 bill. That was the best way that I would do it because you wouldn't have to wait in line. So you would just walk in, and usually at grocery stores, so it's the clerks, and there's always that one little clerk thing that's not like a clerk counter, but there's like a manager there or something like that. That's usually where they have a safe at, always for a drop box. So I would always go and ask for like $100 change, you know? And they would be like, I need ones. You know, I'm selling fucking elotes or whatever the fuck, can I get ones? And when they would start breaking, that's when I would, you know what I mean? Because they would open it, they would access this, and there was always like a certain minimum of amount in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So it was more of know-how. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily that like I was so slick. It was just knowing who to address and knowing what actions at the store can accommodate you for cleaning house. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when we got busted, okay, so when I hit the big five, we failed. We went on a high-speed chase. Somebody that was in the parking lot noticed suspicious behavior, so they followed us. You know where the 5 freeway is at on Gage and Slauson?
Yes.
Okay, so right there, that entrance, that big five, you know how it's down the street a little bit?
Oh, so it was Big Five, not Home Depot. Yeah, that was a different one.
Home Depot.
Home Depot hit all the licks.
Damn, yeah. So we, the Home Depot, we jumped on the 5 freeway, and we took off towards Anaheim. So we take off towards Anaheim. Once we got into the Orange County.
Is this the one with the baby in the car?
No, not the baby.
Okay.
I didn't go on high speed chase with the
baby.
baby.
Oh shit! I was gonna say.
So this is my first term for robberies. My first time with the homies. So we go on a high speed chase. Now I'm in Anaheim. I don't really know where I'm at. Like I know Anaheim, but not like I know my hood or LA. So I get off on South and I make a left. Lo and behold, I didn't know. I'm driving straight to the Anaheim police station. You know what I'm saying? So so I realized that, like, barely realized it, right? Because I start seeing signs that are like arrows, Anaheim PD, and I'm like, holy fuck. So at this point, the homies are in the back and they're panicking because we all got burners. You know, I got a 1911 on me. The homie has a Beretta. The homie has a 380. We're super strapped. We have the cash on us, literally. You know, large amounts. You know, and we're in my sister's what is it? Voyager, Chrysler. But it was those vans when they first came out with the doors on both sides. You know what I mean? When everybody wanted those shits, right? So Plymouth Voyager it was. So anyways, so I'm driving that bitch, high speed chase. I'm going to the police station. I barely realize it, and I bust a bitch, and I go into a residential area. So I tell my homeboys, I'm like, look, check this out. First chance I get, I'm pulling up into somebody's driveway and get out whatever way you can. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming. I make a left into a residential street. From that way, the Hooters are coming, and from behind me, the Hooters are coming. So I'm trying to beat a cop to a driveway. So I make a right into the first driveway I see. The Hooter blocks my door in. Boom, pins me. My homeboys jump out. I jump out the window. I land on the hood of the cop, and then I dip out. Boom, so we all break. Bam, the helicopters everywhere, helicopters everywhere. There's nowhere for me to run, so I hide in the bush, right? If you ever hid from the cops in a bush, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you're just listening. You know, you can't really see because then you'll get caught. So all you do is hear, right? And I'm hearing Hooters everywhere. And I'm hearing the ghetto bird say something, but I really can't tell what it is. But then I hear somebody say, Zeus this, Zeus that, you know? And I'm like, Zeus, what the fuck? And then I hear somebody say something, and then Zeus, and then I just hear, like, I hear somebody jump the fence.
Bam,
and land. But it wasn't a human being. It was a German Shepherd.
Oh, Zeus was a dog.
So they threw a German Shepherd into the bush with me. And they let that fool go at it with me. So I got bit over 24 times on my legs.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, my left knee was dislocated. He took an inch of meat off my leg right here. I have a hole.
Shit.
He bit me all the way up. And at that point, I ended up in 97. So the Hooters make Zeus drag me out the bush. So I come out and I'm begging them to stop him. So a big ass white boy Hooter tells me, and he's like, welcome to Anaheim, bitch. That's what he told me. Boom, and he pulls him off me. So then they transport me in an ambulance because I'm so bit. Like, I'm bit up. Crazy. I wasn't able to walk for 4 months after that correctly.
Oh my goodness.
So at that point I end up in the I think it's the 7,000 floor of the hospital, right? Where all the wheelchairs and all the amputees are at, 7,000 floor. So I go to 7,000 floor, and all I see there is amputee gangsters, like Bloods, Cribs, homies that are missing legs, arms, and these fools are all thugging, fighting serious cases, you know?
Wow.
So I'm there, and I'm on a wheelchair, a legitimate wheelchair.
Damn,
I'm rolling myself.
Fuck you up.
They fuck me. I'm in a wheelchair, and then everything is like brought to you right there, and then I don't know if you've ever known anybody to get bit to that extent by cops, by a cop dog canine unit. So it's different therapy.
I never even met anybody that got bit by
a cop dog.
Today's my first time, guys. This is my first time.
Yeah. So the way they do therapy for that is like it's iodine to kill the infection, right? Because they'll give you a tetanus shot. They always give you a tetanus shot, but you need to heal the wounds and not let them get infected in that environment, which
especially
is jail.
with staff.
Staff, exactly. It was everyday therapy. So I would go see this lady, Miss Mercy, a Jamaican lady in the back, Miss Mercy. And she would lay me back, and Miss Mercy would get a bucket of iodine, and then she would get rags, right? 2 rags. And then she would have to open and close my wounds every day. So I have stains on my legs that are brown from the iodine still. You know what I mean? They permanently stain me, like some spots, right?
They're your memories, you know? Your thug memories.
I show my kids now, you know? I show my kids, and they're like, what the fuck? So yeah, so I did that. So I went from a wheelchair to a walker, from a walker to crutches, from crutches to a cane, and then I was able to walk, you know?
Thank God.
But that was a fucking,
You're
that was
fucked
quite the
up.
experience. Yeah, that was quite this. I remember when I went to the hospital in Anaheim, the nurses there were like, they were looking at the cops like really? Like,
fucking let this,
like this shit, you know? Cause look, when you get bit by a dog of that size, it's German Shepherd of that weight and that strength, your legs swell up to the size of your thigh. All the pressure, it's 1,000 PSI, you know? So the motherfuckers, when they lock on you with that adrenaline and that rush, they're pulling to rip your shit off.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
They're tugging to rip your shit off. So the swelling in my legs took a very, very long time to like go away, you know? But that was probably the craziest shit that ever happened to me. Yeah.
That is extreme, bro.
That's extreme pain. Yeah.
Fucking extreme.
Yeah, because they didn't show me no love. The judge didn't give a fuck. The judge was like, you got bit? All right, bitch. Like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But,
So where did you parole from?
So, fuck, where did I parole from? I paroled from this time I got parole. Oh,
Your
so
last time.
So I ended up back in LA County Jail. Okay, so I ended up back in LA County Jail, and I was released from there to my family. So I came back to LA County Jail because so sometimes when you have like little bullshit warrants, they bring you back just to clear them and whatever, all that shit. So I paroled from the LA County Jail, which was great because I got to hit the county jail. Miraculously, I see my homeboy Vago coming down for a child custody case, and I haven't seen him in like, at that point, probably like 18 years, you know? So it was dope seeing him, and it was funny because like, it's crazy how convicts are in the convict mind. Like, it's almost, the best way I could describe it is like if I would have ran into him at a strip club out here in the streets, you know? Like, I run into him, and he's like, what do you need? I got it. And I'm like, well, how do you have all this shit? Like, they just come from like, where you, yeah, but I'm good. You know, I lined everything up. I'm fucking happy, my boy, don't trip. And I'm like, how much time you got left? Oh, I don't know, like 10 or 8. And I'm like, how do you not know?
Yeah,
Like, how do you not give a fuck or care? You know what I mean? But it was a reality check, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like fuck, I gotta get out. So my older sister came to pick me up. I got out in like a huge shock and like, how can I say it? Like under a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations. I'm the only man in my family. At the time, I was literally the only man in my family to come home to my family and take care of shit and hold shit down. We had lost a lot of men in my family. My father died, my brother-in-law died. My other brother-in-law had caught a stretch himself, you know? So there was a huge void of men in my family. So when I came home, they were just happy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't have came home to a better situation. Like my family was super happy. Whatever I wanted was mine. And you know, the only thing that my family couldn't provide for me was a hustle. You know what I'm saying? But they could help me with like $20 here, you know what I mean? Or I'll take you to go this ride and shit until I got on my feet. And then also my neighborhood, like as soon as I touched down, the homies, you know, touched me up with a little money, gave me my own job, like, you know what I'm saying, doing shit, you know what I'm saying? But I was taken care of, so I didn't really have to do robberies, and the homies are like, you're not doing no more licks.
Like that's it for
relax,
you.
like chill, fucking, we got this little hustle for you, do this and this and that. Right away, I put myself in school. So I went to Homeboy Industries, got a Father Greg. Father Greg paid for me to go to Skills Center. I learned electrical and I learned solar there.
Nice.
So I really got into that shit. And then when I got into the field, I hit the field hard. I started off at the bottom. I'm a boss, you know what I'm saying? I could run any fucking job site, read any blueprint. I can pull up to any city hall, talk code with them. I can run any business right now, literally.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and then like I said, I started my own independent. I built my own catalog, my independent catalog, which is now worth a lot of money. What else did I do,
For
man?
For people that don't know what a catalog is, what is a catalog?
My catalog is is a portfolio of my independent music. Okay. So I fund all my own shit. I have done deals with homies, like I said, once again, I always, you know, I'm grateful to the homies, you know what I'm saying, because they were good to me when I came home. The homie Steve from Fam First, took me in and fucking, man, we ran through the city, you know, like when I came home, I don't know, I could probably vouch, like I was one of the only homies like getting the features I was getting, you know what I'm saying?
And are you still rapping now?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm still rapping.
Okay.
I'm winning now, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a very fortunate position. Like I travel now, I tour with big artists, I do my own shows. I have a show this Friday on my own, you know what I'm saying? So shit's good. Like I've been on ESPN Live, I've fucking punked big podcasters, I've destroyed careers, rap careers. I put the homies in on a pedestal, though. I believe that I brought a lot of elegance and class to what we represent. You know what I'm saying?
You punked big podcasters. Kind
Bloggers.
of mean, you know?
But I'm expected to do that, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real one, you know? I'm probably the only, artist out with my reputation and my extensive
You're who you
credibility
are.
of who I am, the validity. Like, I am who I am. I don't shy away from no responsibility. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a brother. I'm a homie. I'm a best friend. I'm an uncle. I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from nothing.
Good for you.
So I appreciate every single last bit of life and breath that I have. I'm extremely happy with my life, and I'm very successful. And I was doing a gang of time, sitting on the yard, miserable. I sat in shoe programs. I whacked fools. I got caught for it. I went to the hole, kept my fucking mouth shut, got out, did it again. I ran it with all my enemies in the county jail. You can ask them motherfuckers. I had the Norwalk Superior Court jumping, catching fades. I've been with the Magic Johnsons in our league, to the Kobe Bryants in our league. They all love me. I love them back. I represent this shit with a lot of love and integrity because I know what comes of it. Like, I am the success story of a Southsider doing time. Like, I was molded by my big homies. I was loved by my big homies. I wanted to make my homies proud, so I did. And that made me want to come home and make my block proud, make my city proud, make my family proud, make God proud.
Yes.
And I'm a testimony of being gangster and doing gangster shit and what comes from it. Don't let these 6ix9ine or these SPM motherfuckers confuse you. You know what I'm saying? When you're a bitch eternally. Nobody puts you on a shirt when you die. Nobody lights a candle for you. When you die a piece of shit, you're forgotten forever. Your death is imminent, you know what I'm saying? But when you're a solid individual with love and respect for the people around you and the people that you represent, you will live forever.
Yes.
Trust me, because all them fools that I mentioned on the interviews here, fools that brought me up, like Rockwood, like Bats from Rockwood that was doing life with me when I was a kid. He's still in there doing life. Artie from Winter Gardens, Johnny Cyclone from Lomas, the homie Chongo from Eastside Bowling. Fuck, man, so many dudes that I left that'll never come home, but I know that they've seen me from the cell.
Free all the homies.
You know what I'm saying? They've seen me in the cell and they're proud, and those bonds that we have and that integrity that we have together always allows us to win no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know what I mean? So that's my testimony.
Yes.
Man. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for coming in
Thank you
on
for
Indicted
having me.
and sharing your story.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching Indicted. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.